Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here. Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We're in the Mighty 1090 studios with Mr. Brad Stieler from Rapala and Williamson Lures, having a great time talking fishing. And, boy, we're giving away a great prize this morning.
You're not kidding, man. Obviously, having all this talk about brand new stuff from Rapala, brand new Williamson, all the cool stuff that's going on right now, we're giving away a hand-picked assortment of Rapala and Williamson lures. And Brad's kind of gone through and gone all the cool stuff that's happening right now, inshore, offshore. Got a rad kit coming your way. And if you want to get your shot at winning that awesome prize, or better yet, your chance to talk to Brad, ask a question, and join us on Let's Talk Hookup this morning, there's 2 ways that you can do that. Phones are totally packed up right now, but we're going to have a lot of shots for you to get through in the second hour. 858 area code 457-1090. That's our local number. Or you can try us on the toll-free line. That one's 877-792-1090.
All right. I want to mention, we talked about our Kingfisher Charters Let's Talk Hookup 19th annual tournament that starts tomorrow. It's actually not a tournament. It's just a fun trip, and everybody's going to have a good time. And that trip sold out months and months and months ago. So if you want an opportunity to go on our 20th annual Kingfisher Charter great trip next June, the dates are set. It leaves Father's Day, June 2017. It's a great Father's Day gift for your father. Point is, make your reservations sooner than later, because I pretty much guarantee you that once everybody leaves Kingfisher on Thursday, they're going to probably call and want to go back. Brad, you've been there.
Yeah, it's a great – if you really want to go and just have a great time and everything's just like first cabin, Kingfisher Lodge is the way to go.
And done for you.
And done for you. I mean, all you do is you just catch fish and don't worry about it, and it shows up when you leave, all packed, ready to go,
cool.
and it's just great.
From picking you up,
and the food's great.
Yeah, from picking you up at the airport,
they
take care of everything. Transfers. You come back from fishing and they roll in with some rad plate of hors d'oeuvres, and you got some killer view of Sitka Sound. It's just, I cannot wait. It's such a cool trip, and like you say, I mean, it's a year away. What a cool thing to do for Dad. Put a little bit down on your trip, pay it off over the next year. It's just it's an awesome opportunity, and you nailed it, Pete. It sells out every single year.
Yeah, and I just want to warn our listeners, if you want to go, you better get your chance, because they are certainly by far the most popular year after year in Sitka, Alaska. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136. Go to the front page of our website, hookup1090.com. Click on the Kingfisher banner, tell you all about it.
All right. Well, hey, with that, it's time to find out what's going on the water. It's time for our fishdope.com catch report. Today is sponsored in part by Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. The fish that you catch is such a valuable item, so why not take the best possible care of it? Nobody does it like Fisherman's Processing. They're San Diego's finest, and they'll treat your catch just like it was your own, and once you try them, you'll be hooked. Check fishermansprocessing.com for more details, or just see them when your trip returns to the San Diego landings.
All right.
Started off with our man, our fishdope.com reporter, our private boater buddy, Captain Mark Wish of Pacific Edge is on the line. What's up, Mark?
Hey, good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Pete. Morning, Brad.
Mark. How's it going, Mark?
Well, guys, we are just a few days away from the start of summer, and we've already seen some red-hot fishing. What a year so far. Oh, my God.
Man.
They'll start up north here today. Unfortunately, those guys are getting blown out. Kind of always been an issue this time of year at Santa Rosa and Santa Cruz. Good fishing up there, good volume of fish at those islands, but a little breezy right at the moment. They had some signal at Anacapa yesterday. Sea bass were biting pretty good there. A lot of boat pressure on it because it was like one of the few areas where they were able to fish. But when that wind backs off, man, there's some good volume up there. Santa Barbara Island, my favorite little tiny island there. Tough conditions right now. There's good volume of yellows and sea bass there, but definitely limits the wind at the moment. San Clemente, good signal on the yellowtail there the last few days. Backside west, front side middle, and back in the cove there. Squids in the cove again, and those fish are right there on it. Mixed grade schools, but quite a lot of it. Now, bonus is some good sea bass fishing mixed in there right outside the kelp lines on all the areas at Clemente right now. At Catalina, there's some really good angling to be had. It's a little overshadowed with some of the other stuff that's going on, but there's been some darn good scores, mostly on the bait grounds, backside east and backside west, yellows and sea bass both. East, that bait is scattered from Church Rock up to Salta Verde, 14 to 18 fathoms, and a fish right there with it, of course. And then outside West Cove there, same setup there, some bait in the area and yellows and sea bass on that as well. And then on the front, Hen Rock, the Empire Zone, watch out for the closures, and in the Isthmus, the structure spots in the Isthmus, all got yellows and sea bass. Good fishing in Catalina right now. Really good fishing. Locally, finally seeing a little signal on the horseshoe, man. It's been like in a slow mode for a long time, but a little better sand bass, calico bass, a few cooters, and even a handful of yellow starting to bite. So we hope that starts building, man. It's been kind of sleepy the last couple of years there. And then there's those bluefin. Holy cow, absolutely amazing. It's just a large area fish with incredible volume in it. And even if you're not fishing, guys, you should just get on a boat and go see it, because it just staggers the imagination how much fish is down there. But it's a big area, you know, kind of stretched out from the South 9 to the 425, 371, 302, and that's been the zone for a while now. It's been settled in there, but it's starting to show a little bit of sign of moving up, so that'd be good news, a little closer to home for me. But, you know, that big bluefin on the poppers, that's definitely the headlines, and rightfully so. But there's also a lot of really nice yellowfin in there. And, man, I had one of those on our last trip there. That thing was so fat and so tasty. Best yellowfin tuna I've ever eaten, ever. And I'll tell you what, guys, when that stuff starts settling down and takes a notion to bite a little bit, it's going to be absolutely epic, because the volume just literally defies description. So, you know, guys, I think I'd go fishing if I was you.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea,
dude.
Mark. That's a really good idea. And, of course, Danny at Fish Dope has had all the information this week, the numbers, the spots. We went right to the numbers the other day. It was exactly what it said on fishdope.com. You want to save $20 on a new membership to fishdope.com. Hookup now, lowercase, no space, Hookup now. I know a lot of our Let's Talk Hookup listeners are taking advantage of that, fishdope.com. And, Mark, did you get a chance to see that aerial shot that we posted on our Facebook page last week of that school of bluefin? That
just, I mean, it's just, you know, and I was just there, you know, looking at them things in the water that mostly, of course, don't want to bite, but that is just an unbelievable shot. And it just shows the signs of things to come. Man. Stuff's going to settle down and start to bite.
It is unbelievable. But I'll tell you what, if you haven't friended us on Facebook yet, Let's Talk Hookup Radio Show. That's the spot, and you'll see some amazing stuff like those Rapala and Williamson photos this morning of aerial shots. We always try and put up good stuff for you to enjoy.
Yeah, fresh fishing
and
pictures.
You know what I saw, Pete, also was something that made me smile is the first fish on your new boat. Congratulations.
Yeah, how about that, huh? God, that's such a great ride. I'll tell you what. That was a little sloppy there on Thursday, but that Pacifica, it's a classic. That's why I got it.
It smooths it right out, doesn't it?
Yeah, little work on the boat. It'll be right up the par.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah, all right. Well, how can we find you, Mark?
Pete, we're in Huntington Beach on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger. Phone number 714-840-4262. Website PacificEdgeTackle.com. And I'm going to try for one of them bluefins again tomorrow. We'll see you down there.
Go get them. Good luck, Mark. Appreciate that.
All right, let's head on down to San Diego, over to C4 Sport Fishing, and talk to our buddy Marcos. Marcos, I know there's some great fishing going on at C4.
Yeah, it definitely has better fishing coming up here. The San Diego started the last couple of days, but still seeing a lot of those bluefin. They're actually fishing California waters today, following those fish around. Hopefully they'll get back on the fish there. We're starting to run some overnight trips pretty consistently there, and they're starting to see a little bit of stuff out there. Saw some yellowtail and bonito on one of those trips down the coast there. So the offshore fishing's been a bit tougher this last week. A lot of pressure. People get on vacation, a lot of boats out there, and kind of spreads out the count a bit. The half day, finally starting to see some surface action there, a little bit of life. Yesterday afternoon they had one yellowtail, a barracuda, still great bottom fishing. Day before that, a barracuda, some calico bass. One of those twilight trips had some calico bass. So definitely, you know, we had a great start to the year. It slowed down a little bit, and everything seems to be a little bit late, but it's starting to come to life there. Still got a shot at those bluefin. And, you know, I was just talking to John about this yesterday, and at least as long as I've been working here, and he says pretty much the same thing. It's unprecedented to see all those bluefin on the three-quarter day trip. not even an overnight, not a day and a half on a 3/4 day trip. And it's tough fishing, but that's what you get when you're fishing for 50 to 150 pound bluefin. So definitely take all those counts with a grain of salt there. You may only see a handful of fish, but they're catching a lot, they're seeing a lot, there's a lot of life out there. And it's a good time to go fishing. Weather's getting nice. We have those half-day trips, a 3/4 day. We're starting to see a lot of overnights and day and a halves. And like we always say, you don't want to wait until all the fishing's done and say, okay, now fishing's good and go, because then it's over. So just get out there if you have some time, get your gear out and go fishing. Check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We have our full schedule up there for the half days, those 3/4 days, except we're running twilight trips, overnights, day and a halves. You can make your reservations straight online there. You can always give us a call at the office, 619-224-3383. Always come visit us in person and pick up one of those Rock Cod Rick breakfast burritos and get out there on the water.
Now you're talking, Marcos. Appreciate that. Well, good fishing going on at Seaforth, and like we said, a nice week of weather coming. You know how those bluefins are, man. They kind of stick their nose down sometimes when it's a little windy and a little choppy. And we got a good week of weather coming. I'm sure the San Diego's going to be on it, as well as all those other great trips you've been mentioning. Appreciate a great report, Marcos, as always. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
We'll talk to you then, guys.
All right, Marcos, thanks a lot for that. That's going to wrap up our catch report.
Let's jump into the phones.
You got it, man. Well, the phones are definitely packed up. We got another first-time caller, Manuel in Los Angeles. Good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, Manuel. Thanks for joining us and being a first-time caller with us.
Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Hey, on these fishing regulations with the seiner fishing our coastal waters and the longliners, I think that's basically diminishing. What's your take on the correlation now with this flux of big tuna coming in? There has to be a correlation with that. Last year, it was a good number. Now these fish are getting bigger. So I think with the restrictions of longline fishing and these seiners out there, it's going to be better for the anglers. Even though, we only get 2 bluefin, but if you get a 200, 100-pound bluefin, that's all you need. But I just want to throw that out there. What's your take with the regulations? And I think it's working, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the correlation is, but I know that I like what's going on. You know, what I mean, I don't have an answer. I think that like we're all fishermen, and most of us are all sport fishermen, and so we get the the seiner's there. The fish would be so much better if that fish wasn't getting wrapped. It wouldn't be boat shy. But those guys have a very strict quota put on them, and once their quota is met, they're not fishing. And
the Mexico guys are done.
Yeah,
the pen guys are done. They've already reached their capacity in the pens, and they are no longer fishing.
It's a highly regulated fishery, and you know what? Hey, man, they should be allowed to get theirs too. And trust me, I'm the guy in the skiff that gets frustrated when you run up on a school and they go down because they got set. But you know what? They have strict regulations and they adhere to them, and they've got observers. And I don't know that the tighter regulations is what's making for our better fishing as much as it is just very good conditions. The food supply offshore for those things, as far as water conditions and feed condition, it's perfect. I mean, it's the perfect setup, and I think that's why it's so good right now. Is this is where they're all at? They're all right off of Southern California. There's not a huge volume down below that. There's not a huge volume up above it. This is where they're living and fat and happy. And man, I don't know what the reason is, but I know that I like it.
You bet. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Continuing our catch report with the Northern Baja Report, Mr. Rick Jensen from Sport Fishing Financial. Good morning, Rick.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, Rick.
Brad, how you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, I'm listening out here in Arizona on my cell phone, so I missed my slot. I guess a little bit of a delay there. So
no worries. It can't be very hot in Arizona right now.
No, not at all,
dude.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
And your son's playing baseball in that heat?
Yeah, they mix the schedule up a little bit to try and have the middle of the day off, but he's playing today at 11 o'clock. He's going to be on the mound tomorrow, pitching in probably 110, 115 degree weather.
That is brutal, dude. That is brutal.
Well, we'd rather be fishing, right, Rick?
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff going on. Last weekend we took the Pacific Vision down to pulling out for a little shakedown trip and found the yellowtail down there, a little bit skittish, but everything checked out on the boat, and we came back and pounded those bluefin a little bit on the way home and managed to get one. But Brad, we thinking about Rapala and having you on today reminds me of so long ago when I was a young kid and looking at my dad's tackle box and always picking up that pretty lure that looked different from everything else and actually looked like a fish, and somebody put some time into it, and all the innovations and bringing on the new line with Williamson. There's just some great, beautiful stuff. I wish I was in the studio having a look at that new stuff on the table right now.
Well, it'll be in the taco shop soon.
Yeah. Like how soon? July?
Yeah, first part of July. We'll have it in stock, and we've already written orders, so the local dealers and that will be right up on top of it. So.
And out fishing these last couple of days, I know everybody keeps asking Ricky what rod, what reel, what this, what that, and there's been some information shared, but from what I've seen the last couple of times out, these poppers and these, even the surface irons, you get set up, and if you can manage to get set up upwind and you huck that thing a little higher in the air when it's windy, it just takes off like a kite and let it run off these good reels with the line, and you can make those things fly. Half of getting that longer cast is how you get set up. On the other hand, you get face into the wind, and you throw that thing out there, and you might hit your buddy on the bow.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you went fishing with us on Thursday, Rick, and you and Ron Lane were the stalwarts up on the bow there throwing on all those thousands of tuna that didn't want to bite, but you stuck it out, man. You kept at it, and you tried everything in the box, right?
Yeah, well, it paid off for Ron. He was working hard as anybody. I went up there and rode the rodeo. Like you said, it was a little rough, and we're up on the bow, beautiful new ride feed and all, but heck, when you've got some swells bumping around and you're up on the tip on the pulpit, you're going to go up and down and have to hang onto the rail.
No doubt.
Ron just kept sticking to it, and like you said, Rick, there was nothing around, and Pete just kept saying, hey, the turns are there, throw. I'm thinking, hey, I already bounced off 6 of their heads. I'm going to take a rest for a minute. And sure enough, Ron gets rolled on right next to the boat in blank water. So, yeah, it's a lot of work. The guys who work hard get paid off, and it was great for Ron to bring that beauty on board.
You bet. Well, Sport Fish Financial, you're a great guy to go fishing with, and you go fishing and you help people with their finances. You know, one thing I want to point out about Sport Fishing Financial is that this is basically at no cost to the person that becomes your customer, right?
Yeah, we've got a couple client appreciation trips set up. We share the cost and get the best of the best when it comes to trips or the boats that we're on. And, we've got a trip that's coming up where guys are paying their own way to fish on the RP down at one island in Guadalupe. So, we've got a lot going on where we share the cost of some trips on our boat that we're using with the company here. It's available for free to some of our clients. So there's a great opportunity there as an added value.
He can make money for you and take you fishing. What's better than that?
Sounds good to me, man.
How do we do that, Rick? How do we get in touch with you?
Well, hey, before I go, let me give you a couple highlights of the Baja report here. We're talking so much local fishing, but the big fish story for the week, if anyone hasn't heard, is Mark Rayer pulled in a super cow yesterday down in Los Fariles. So
really?
That was big news.
On the Genran.
He did, and he's got a beautiful shot on his website with Diego holding it up, and it's taller than Diego, so it's a legit super cow.
Nice.
Well, I know he's been doing a lot of kite fishing down there, so they're on it on the Genran.
And then Jeff Marinari from Cedros Adventures, he's been kayak fishing and just knocking the heck out of the yellowtail up to 40 pounds, 100-day bass days.
I got to correct you. It's Mariani.
Mariani.
Because I've been saying the other way, and I promised Jeff I would say it correctly. Mariani. He caught a potential IGFA world record broomtail grouper at Cedros the other day, 105 pounds. Did you hear about that?
Oh, my gosh. No way.
Yeah,
cool.
with Cedros tackle. He's going to call into the show this morning. He was going to call in to the show this morning, but he's going to call in tomorrow morning because he went to Wiley's on the other side of the island today because they're catching 25-pound halibut and 100 calicos a day.
Oh, that
right
sounds
now.
so cool, dude.
From the kayak.
Heading up the line there, and then Mulhay, I'll rush through this, but the roosters and the jacks are all over the bay. The Dorado have moved up into the Cape there. They're catching mostly smaller ones, but several fish up to 30 pounds. The tournament there at Punta Travado is going to be June 25th next weekend, so should be some good Dorado fishing for that. Up at in Cedros with Jeff, that we know the reports that they're having there. Bay of LA, 15 to 25-pound fish, wide open, bait everywhere. San Quintin, yellowtail are back on top. Halibut and calicos are showing the San Martin. Up in Ensenada, the yellowtail are throughout the bay, but they're kind of show and go too. They're eating the smaller krill or something. They're just not really wanting to hit the baits. In Gonzaga Bay, the Pesca de Baja tournament was on. Big showing, 150 boats or 150 people up there. Not a whole lot of giant fish. They caught grouper up to 20 pounds that were the big fish. And the next stop for the Pesca de Baja fishing tournament will be Bay of LA, July 15th and 16th.
Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Cool,
All
Rick.
right, Rick Jensen, Sport Fishing Financial. How do we get a hold of if we want to go fishing and talk finance?
Check me on the web, sportfishingfinancial.com, phone number 949-481-1807.
Thanks, Rick. We'll talk to you next Saturday.
Have a good weekend.
Stay cool. All right, let's jump back into those phones, Rick.
Sounds good to me. Let's talk to Kenny. He's calling us from Hawaiian Gardens this morning. Kenny, thanks for hanging in there with us this morning.
Good morning, Kenny.
Morning, guys. Morning, everybody. Hey, I had a question about two different models of Rapalas. I have one that's about, from the bill to the tail, it's about 6 inches. It's just a wood grain, like a pine wood. There's no finish on it. What was that specifically made for?
Well, actually, it was made for the tuna fishing. That it was kind of a takeoff of the old cedar plug.
Right, I remember that.
And
Right.
it was kind of a special makeup that we did, and we don't do that anymore. But it was basically a takeoff of the cedar plug, and it worked. So
Wood grain, man.
yeah,
It's classy.
Yeah, so maybe we should bring that back.
we could talk to them about it, definitely.
Definitely. They're pretty receptive to your input, right?
They do, yeah. We do a monthly report. Everybody in our organization does a monthly report for our individual fisheries and stuff, and we make suggestions for new lures and stuff like that. So if they can do it, or if they've done it before, it happens a lot quicker. But they will listen to us, and sometimes it takes a year or so. But like I said, if they've made it before, they can do it again. So
Cool.
All right. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
And when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including a big block of your phone calls. Phones are packed up, and we're going to take them all. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
Hey everybody, this is Captain Dwayne Diego, 4-pack charter captain, here to talk to you about Parker Boats and the good folks at West Coast Marine. When it came time to start Pinnacle Sport Fishing and get my own boat, there was only one choice. I wanted a Parker. And there's a real good reason for it. The fishability and seaworthiness. I've been fishing on Parkers for years now, and I know the abuse they can take. Parker Marine builds a heavy-duty, industrial-strength boat, probably overbuilt, but that's what I need when we're out 12 hours a day, over 300 days a year, running charters. The guys at West Coast Marine built me one heck of a fishing boat. From the custom tower with steering and throttle controls to the backup bait pump system, my Parker 2520 XLD will deliver me to the fishing grounds reliably and safe. Take it from me. If you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine, located at 1555 Newport Boulevard in Costa Mesa, or check them out and their inventory and information online at westcoastmarine.com.
Time for our Power Pro 60-second seminar. Your next fishing trip. Be sure to get that Power Pro Advantage. What an advantage the new Max Quattro by Power Pro is, right, Rick?
So killer that you can have, talk about timing on Power Pro's part, coming out Max Quattro. It's a very good casting Power Pro line. It's 25% smaller in diameter than the previous original Power Pro, which is still great, but you basically now can fish 80-pound on your reel and have the same line capacity you would as if you're fishing 65. So when you're fishing a reel like a Tranx that is the ultimate in popper casting reel, but let's face it, it doesn't hold, millions of yards of line, you can now use Max Quattro, get your line capacity way up there, but still fish 80-pound. You can connect that to a piece of 100-pound Seagar. So when you do hook one of those 100-pounders, you're fishing 80 to 100-pound fluoro, you got them.
You got them, yeah. Power Pro Max Quattro at your favorite tackle store. Check powerpro.com for more information.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course, I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, Boat California, Save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
No matter the fishing conditions, count on the Seagar family of fluorocarbon leader material to help you catch more fish. Fluoro Premier has a smaller diameter with the highest break strength. Plus, it is super soft. When bites are tough, tie on Fluoro Premier. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And new Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions, giving you a little more visibility for better line control. Pick up a spool of Seagar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit Seagar.com.
Hey, we talked about it. It's the San Diego International Boat Show. It's going on today and tomorrow, the last 2 days, to see just a really impressive show right there across from the San Diego International Airport, next to the Sheraton Harbor Island Marina. It's really a fun time. I went yesterday, saw the guys from Inland Boat Center. They're going to be on Let's Talk Hookup tomorrow. They have Defiance right there in the parking lot, and they have Arima, those amazing little Arima boats. Tough little boat there. It's a lot of boat, but that's just a part of it. You go down on the docks, there's all these big yachts, sailboats, all kinds of stuff. And it's the San Diego Boat Show. It's right here.
It's fun. It's a fun thing for the whole family, too. They got kids zones with face painting and crafts. They got the tiki bar and beer gardens, all kinds of food trucks. And the thing that's cool, too, is it's not just boats. They got a wide range of new products and services that make owning and operating your boat a lot easier. Again, it's today from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then tomorrow, Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Take Dad for Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful weather here. And don't forget, today is the day they're having that the Mexico immigration guy, and Fito Espinosa from the Hotel Corral, talking about what you need paperwork-wise when you come to Mexico. Check that out today at the San Diego Boat Show, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. today, 10 to 6 tomorrow. San Diego International Boat Show.com for more information.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know, CalStar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest that's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the CalStar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend CalStar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Oh,
right. San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
All right, phones are packed up. They want to talk to Mr. Brad Stieler from Rapala and Williamson Lures. You're a popular guy.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
Oh, we got lots to do, lots to sell.
Oh, yeah.
They all catch fish.
Yeah, they do. It's amazing. How is it that one company can catch so many fish-catching things from across the board? You heard Bart talking about trout fishing, guys in bass fishing, we're talking about East County Bait and Tackle having a selection. I mean, and then the saltwater thing is just nuts.
Well, like Bart said, we cover just about every type of fishing you can do, and the lures we make just catch fish. We have more IGAFF records than any other lure company. So
wow,
and that's fresh salt wherever. So
I'll tell you, anywhere we're going somewhere that's whatever you call it, exotic, different, some kind of spot, Christmas Island or Panama or one of those things, they always will bite the Rapala. They just will, and I'm really in now to fishing the smaller X-Rap, not the X-Rap Magnum trolling lures, but the small X-Rap casting, minnow style baits. No matter where you're at, you're always going to get bites on those kind of things.
And we hear lots of reports in there where you take those and they work in the surf.
Sure.
For the...
Yeah, Gundy talks about
we haven't even hardly talked about how good those things are for surf fishing today.
It's unbelievable, yeah. And, one of the best, we were talking earlier, one of the best calico baits is that SXR 14 X-Wrap. And
that's a secret calico bait for all.
Yeah, the variety of colors. So you got to pick your colors. So you got to buy a variety. So you've got it squared away. But just those baits, and then even in the bay, even our bass baits on our Dive 2, our DT series. They work great for spotted bay bass, sand bass, calicos. They're just a great crossover bait. Even though you would think largemouth bass is bass, and they work in the saltwater too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's jump into those jam-packed phone lines, Rick.
Sounds good. Let's talk to Grant. He's calling us from San Carlos this morning. Hi, Grant. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, boys. How you doing?
What up, Grant?
Hey, listen, I got one question for you, Rick, but prior to that, I just want to make one comment. We've been fortunate enough to get out there and play around with these bluefins, and wow, like everybody's saying, what a blast. And the comment I want to make is I just want to thank my captain, Mr. Ryan Christensen, for not only taking us to the right spot, but when we get there, putting us in the right position to make those good casts.
And Ryan, our phone guy.
Ryan, it's been a blast, and I'm feel very fortunate to have been able to take advantage of it here, and hopefully there's more to come. I think there is. My one question for you, Rick, is regarding the Tranks, and I am in full agreement of, since I have one and been enjoying fishing with it, the difference between the 65-pound Power Pro versus the 80-pound Max Quattro in capacity, as well as do you prefer one over the other from a pure standpoint of casting?
I find that I get a little bit more of the 80-pound Max Quattro than I did of the 65-pound regular. So capacity is a little higher with the 80. And I think that the casting performance is very similar between the two. And one thing that I find for sure is that both of them, whichever you choose, the regular or the power, but they definitely cast better after they've been broken in. So when you first get the reel, they've got a little bit of the coating on there, and I find it that as the more that I fish that line, the better that it performs. So to be completely honest with you, Grant, I was slightly discouraged the first time I fished my line because it's kind of new and kind of stiff, and it didn't come off the reel as nice, and my immediate thought was, I don't like this as much. And now that I fished it several trips, it's been stretched, it's been run over the guides, it's been through the line, now I'm all about it. So I've become a big fan of that new Max Quattro. I at first I just liked it okay. I didn't really see the world of advantage, and now that I fished it a few trips, I really like the capacity. I really like the fact that we can fish heavier line. And these bluefins, it seems like if you are fishing heavy spectra, heavy fluoro, and really put the drag on them, you're going to either pull the hook right away or you're going to get them right away. And you're not going to pull the hook. You know, you hear all these horror stories, we pulled on one for an hour and a half, and then we lost them. Like, we're fishing heavy drag because we've got such heavy Power Pro in the reel now.
They don't like those big poppers in their mouth, and they shake their head, and the longer you have them on, the more they're going to shake that head and shake that hook right out.
Yeah.
So you want to get them.
I'm a believer in that, man. I want to. If I'm going to lose them, I want to lose them in the first 10 minutes, or I want to put them on the boat. You know, you don't want to lose one. You know, sometimes, I get it. You know, you don't want to pull too hard because you pull a hook, but, man, if that hook's in the right spot, it's not coming out. And if it's in the wrong spot, it's probably going to come out 90% of the time anyway. So
you bet.
Get it on them.
Hey, Grant, happy Father's Day. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
I know Grant's done, but I got to say, I know Rye was going to back us up. They just put that same Simrad autopilot that I know I have and you have, and I was talking to Ryan about it, and, man, what a... You were the one that talked me into that. I'd never had an autopilot on this skiff before. They were a small boat. I don't know if we necessarily need that. And you were like, dude, there's no way you cannot. That is the greatest thing in the world, man. Oh, my God. I don't know how we ever
And Simrad makes the best autopilot, period.
It is so stinking easy to use. All of their stuff. That NSS.
Ryan's giving us the thumbs up now. Once you get an autopilot on your boat, you don't know what you did without it.
That is so true, man.
It's not a cheap deal. It's not. It's an expensive installation. It's and it's not a cheap instrument to put on your boat. But if you don't have an autopilot on your boat, and I don't care whether your boat's 21 feet or it's 65 feet, you need to get
it. Dude, it's so big for this because, you know, if I'm driving and, you know, you got the binoculars up and we gyro up a school that's a long ways away and there's no point of reference, I can, in one hand, you know, see where the school's at in the binoculars, bump the throttle forward a little bit, and just start turning the steering wheel until I can see the bow pulpit and the birds lined up at the same time and push one button auto, and we drive right to it. And then you can secure all your stuff, you can put your binoculars away, you can get your caster ready, and you're just running at it the entire time.
And that's the other thing.
It's invaluable.
Is when you're looking, too. You have it on autopilot. You don't have to be worried about where you're going.
Sure,
you can concentrate on finding fish.
I love it. I know Ryan Grant have the exact same unit we have, that Simrad AP24, and oh my God, it's so sweet. I love it.
It's a good one for sure. Hey, let's go ahead and jump back into the phones.
You got it. How about this time we talk to Rich? He's calling us from Bradley this morning. Hi, Rich. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning and happy Father's Day.
You too, Rich.
Yeah, hey, when the Williamson's knife jigs came out, I think it was about 6 or 8 years ago, I saw guys catching lingcod with them, and that seemed to be their number one application, and the finishes on those things were just amazing. I don't even think you could call it a paint job. They're just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they're great.
I was wondering if there's some other applications where those might apply, like maybe deep jigging for the yellowtail like they had going on this winter, or maybe fishing the slide, or would maybe they'd be good for casting in some situations. And could you maybe tell us the difference of why some of them have the free swinging hooks on them and some of them have a treble hook at the bottom, and they seem to be basically the same configuration?
Yeah, the yo-yo with the treble hooks on them seem to work good. You can yo-yo those for yellowtail and stuff like that. But yeah, they're just a great bait. They're not an expensive bait, you know, from Williamson, like most of ours aren't. And you know, they're just a great bait. So, but
I would use lures are really reasonable.
Yeah,
price.
they are.
They're very reasonable priced, and that's one of the keys. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You can it affords you to buy a variety of different colors and stuff like that too. So, but I'd use the treble hook one for if I yo-yoing or whatever, you can do that and use that for that as well. So.
All right. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, let's jump right back into the phones. This time we're going to talk to Bruce. He's calling us from Huntington Beach. Hi, Bruce. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys.
Hi, Bruce.
Morning.
Well, I finally broke loose and bought a Tranx at the Longfin last weekend.
Ooh,
All right.
sweet,
Yeah,
Bruce.
I heard that Longfin did great at that sale. They killed it.
Well, when I went in the next day for pick up my line, there was hardly any rods left.
That's cool.
Well, congratulations
Yeah.
to Tom and Eric.
Nice reel.
Rick, how do I set that thing up for a popper? Put about 3 feet of 60 or 80 fluoro on there?
Depends a little bit on the type of fishing that you're going to be doing and where you're going to be fishing the most of. I would say if you're fishing in a private boat, like I'm doing most of the time, I have mine full of 80-pound Power Pro Max Quattro, and I fish about 3 feet of 100-pound Seaguar fluorocarbon. Now, that's like the perfect rig in a private boat where the boat's not moving around a ton and you can get right on top of your fish and you're fishing a long rod that absorbs a shock. If you do most of your fishing on a sport boat, then I would say still 65 or 80-pound Power Pro, whatever you choose, but a much longer top shot, at least a full casting distance of mono. You
want the stretch.
You want the stretch, exactly. You get up on the bow of a big sport boat, you're 6 or 8 feet off the water, you get a little swell, a little chop, fish goes down, boat goes up. You've got to have that stretch. Being on a skiff is so much different than on a sport boat. So let the type of fishing you do the most dictate it, Bruce, and whichever one of those two, longer top shot on a sport boat and a shorter one if you're fishing mostly on the skiff.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right. How about next up we talk to Blake. He's calling us from Temecula. Hi, Blake. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Morning, Blake.
Hey, good morning, guys. Long-time listeners since the very beginning. Hey, got a couple things. Went out for bluefin tuna twice. Nothing happened, so I decided to go up to British Columbia and chase him and did real good with West Coast Resorts. And on the Rapalas, I do real good, catch everything around Catalina Island. Thanks so much for the Rapalas.
Good.
Hey, one of the big points I've got, guys, is environmental a little bit. As you know, all the captains want our butts to stay in the boat. Safety first. I'm asking every captain in the world, actually, let's start keeping those cigarette butts in the boats, guys. Please, I am begging you. It takes about 500 years for those babies to disappear. Let's do it for our kids. I am in love with the ocean. I know you guys are. I know Pete's a diver. Let's keep those butts in an empty beer can. You might find an empty beer can on a party boat or a private boat. And Rick, congratulations, man, on that bluefin. Gosh darn, man, you're such a lucky guy. A wahoo on your boat first time out. Now you got a 225 blue, man.
Cool.
Fired up.
But good message there, Blake. Yeah, that is a pollutant. It's illegal to dump cigarette butts into the ocean. It's a plastic. So, yeah.
Good call.
Keep them in the boat. Good call. Thanks a lot for the call.
All right. Hey, let's jump right back into the phones. We're going to talk to Leroy. He's calling us from Rancho Penasquitos. What's up, Leroy? Welcome to the show.
Morning, Leroy.
Hi, how you guys doing?
What's up, Leroy?
I have a question in regards to poppers.
All right.
I can't see going bluefin fishing without one, but I don't know which one to buy.
Brad, what are you recommending?
Well, you caught your speed on that 130 on our Popper Pro.
The Williamson Popper Pro 130.
Yeah.
So it's smaller, but I also like that big one, too.
Yeah, the 180, and then we have that new size coming out, the 160, kind of fits right in between.
In between.
So.
But then also the jet poppers are good, too.
Jet poppers are good, too,
yeah.
And the 5's probably for local.
I think the bigger,
here.
probably.
Yeah,
probably the bigger one.
Yeah.
So 7, is it?
This is a 7.
Okay, yeah.
So here's the deal, Leroy. You got to take multiple ones because you don't know what they're going to be on that day. And you got to have multiple rods set up with different poppers. If that's all you're fishing, you got to have at least 2 tied on and tie on a couple of different ones. Tie a big one on, tie a smaller one on, and see what they want that day because every day is different. They change their moods.
Right.
Picky.
Yeah. Good luck on that. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
How about next up we talk to Ari, calling us from Venice Beach. Ari, good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
How you doing, guys?
What's up, Ari?
just came back from Alaska Airlines flight, Costa Rica. What an epic flight. And I was using the purple Rapala down there on the Max Quattro. Was catching everything from wahoo to barred pargo.
Rad.
And my question was about these bluefin. I went out last week. We weighed in 7 of them, over 100 at the Marlin Club. And how do you keep these big fish extra fresh and cold so we can bring them home sushi quality?
Yeah, well, that's a good call. We use kill bags on our boat, and it's been a joke. You know, we used to always take the kill bag. That's what you do. And now we've been bringing 3 bags with us. I have 3 kill bags in total, 2 of the 30 by 72s and 1 of the 30 by 60s. And it's a lot of ice, and it's an appropriate amount of the 30 by 72 kill bag will fit a 205 pounder with 150 pounds of ice, and that'll fill it up, or they'll hold 3 of those big 100 pounders. But we use those kill bags. I use those reliable bags and a lot of ice. And on the big ones, we've been gilling and gutting our fish just the same way they do on the long range boats. You know, you get the gut pack out of them. It gets a lot of heat out of the fish. It's a lot less to cool down, and it'll help preserve your ice. You know, one of the problems we've been having with, you know, when you get those days with decent fishing, those fish are so big it takes a lot to cool them down, and that in turn melts your ice, and then you don't have as much ice left over. So if you can get 20 or 30 pounds of guts out of those fish, it's a lot of heat that you don't have to cool. It's less mass that you have to cool, and it'll help preserve your ice a little bit. And it doesn't take long to cut the gills and guts out of them. If you ever haven't seen it on our YouTube channel under Let's Talk Hookup, there's a couple videos from the Royal Star of watching the guys gilling and gutting big yellowfin tuna, and it's exactly the same process. A couple of quick cuts, you get the gills and the guts out of it, you'll keep the meat that much better, and you've got less to cool. So that's our program.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. So important to keep that fish. First of all, you keep them cold, and then either that day or the next day you get them to Fisherman's Processing. Because we took that yellowfin to Fisherman's Processing. It's just beautiful. They do such a great job, and if it's appropriate, they'll do these beautiful sushi cuts for you. Oh my gosh! And it just comes out pristine.
I'm all about the sushi cut now too, because they basically take like the dead center, the perfect of the loin, and it's just, man, it's so. Those guys, we say it all the time in spots, but it's the truth. You can't do it at home as good as they can there. Like that's the finishing touch on a rad fish. And these fish are extra special. You know, we're catching 70 and 100-pound bluefins. These deserve the Fisherman's Processing touch.
Yeah, no question about it. Absolutely. All right, let's jump back on the phones. You want to get through, 858-457-1090. It's been a busy morning. There's your chance to get through.
Richard in Monrovia, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Richard.
Morning, Richard.
Good morning, gentlemen. Hey, my question is, I have a Pro Angler 14 and looking at doing some trolling if the bait's hard to make down in Baja or up in La Jolla. And want to know what the recommended lure is for trolling off of the Pro Angler.
Off the kayak. That's a Pro Angler kayak.
Oh, I'd use in our X-Rap Magnums. The 15 or 20 is probably the best bet. And
what's the difference between an X-Rap and an X-Rap Magnum?
Good question.
Well, the X-Raps are smaller baits.
Okay.
The X-Rap Magnums are saltwater, and they're saltwater rigged. So, you got saltwater hooks on them and stuff, and they troll a lot faster.
Mm-hmm. The advantage of trolling a Rapala off of a Hobie kayak like that is you can troll it slow and you can troll it fast, but they're still going to eat it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so maybe just the regular Rapala if you're towing on a kayak, which is you're going a little bit slower than a boat.
Yeah, if you're smaller, that SXR 14 would work good. Work really well for that.
I know a lot of guys catch a lot of fish on Rapalas behind their kayak.
Yeah, that would be a great one. And we also make a size 12 too if you want a little smaller bait. But they do have saltwater hooks, so anything has a S before it of the XR is a saltwater bait.
Okay.
So
SXR
is saltwater, and then
SXR.
Just the XR has freshwater.
Is a freshwater. So that way you have saltwater hooks on it.
Correct.
And made for tougher fish. Yeah. Watch for the S. Hey, hope that helps you out. Good luck on your Hobie kayak there. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Rudy in Carlsbad, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Rudy, thanks for hanging in there with us.
Rudy?
Oh, gentlemen, I wanted to thank you for the show up in Encinitas, Florida.
Yeah.
And being picked one of the first ones for the trip to...
That's right. You were the lucky winner of the random draw for the 1 in 8 chance to go to Katmai Lodge. How about that?
And going to all your shows and everything, that's where I started using the X-Wrap, and it just they're marvelous. That's all I got to say. I mean, the man comes across with everything. I even cross use them. I've used them in the surf, and they work. And it just I can't say enough nice things about these lures.
They're amazing.
The Williamson or the X-Wrap.
Yeah. Now, Rudy, you're going to come to our next live broadcast at Mossy Ford in Pacific Beach on July 2nd?
Oh, we all are.
All right, great.
We all kind of communicate with each other.
Well, you'll have a chance to win some more Rapala and Williamson lures there.
Oh, yes, sir. I hope so.
All right, Rudy.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot for the support. Appreciate the call, and good luck winning that trip to Katmai Lodge on Alaska Airlines.
How cool. All right, Mario in Rancho Cucamonga. You're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Hi, Mario.
Hey, guys. I got a quick question about the Rapala, the Magnum 20 and 30s. I got some, and the hooks are kind of rusting out, and I know those are VMC hooks. What size hooks are on the 20 and the 30 size?
On the 20 and 30, you've got, I want to say they're like 4/0, I believe. 3/0 and 4/0, I believe, without going back and checking.
Yeah, without knowing for certain, I would totally agree with you. I'm pretty certain that's what they are.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot for the call this morning. So it's an important difference. So now they don't make any X-Wraps for freshwater. That's all saltwater bait?
Well, they make the standard.
I mean X-Wrap Magnums. All the Magnums are saltwater.
Saltwater. They're all saltwater rigged and.
But But the regular Rapalas, the ones with the S, are the ones for saltwater.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Important differentiation.
Correct. Yeah. X-Wrap Magnums are your saltwater trolling lures, and then the SXR 10, 12, and 14. Are smaller baits, but they're saltwater rigged. They have saltwater hooks on them.
They come with heavy-duty VMC hooks.
Correct.
Heavy-duty split rings, too. The rings that Rapala uses are very, very good.
That's important.
We see a lot of other manufacturers that are not up to the task, and you guys put very good hooks and rings on all your baits.
Right. So
there you go. All right.
All right, let's jump back into him. Talk to Jeff. He's calling us from Costa Mesa this morning. Good morning, Jeff. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, good morning, boys.
Hi, Jeff.
Had a question. I call them Rapalas still, but I have the old Rapala slivers, and you going to make anything like that? And, I caught a 150-pound big eye on a Rapala sliver, if you remember what those were.
What? Yeah, I remember the sliver. We don't make that anymore. It was a kind of a needle-looking fish type bait, and the volume, even though they all caught fish, the volume wasn't there, so as things get upgraded and we get into the X-Wrap Magnums and some of the other baits and stuff, some things have to go. I mean, we've got about 5,800 baits now that we manufacture, so it's kind of mind-boggling if you're a buyer at one of the tackle stores. But no, it was a good bait, and but it's hard to beat the new stuff too.
Sliver was like a long, skinny CD18. It was long and skinny, and then like the back, I didn't want to say the back quarter, like the back, just a little couple inch piece was jointed in the back. It was cool. It was a cool lure.
Right.
Yeah, those were cool.
Yeah. All right. Very good, Jeff. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out, speaking of Rapala and Williamson, somebody's got a whole hand-picked assortment coming their way. We're giving away an awesome prize when we return. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
With Winn fishing rod grips, feeling is believing. Winn's superior polymer grip technology puts control and comfort literally in the angler's hand. Experience Winn's tacky Sure Grip security in wet, dry, cold, or hot conditions. Winn makes grips for all types of fishing rods. Whether building a new rod or overwrapping your current cork or EVA, you will feel the Winn grip difference. Check WinnGripsFishing.com to learn more or find a dealer. Winn fishing rod grips. Feeling is believing.
If you're not wearing Maui Jim sunglasses, you're missing plenty. This is Captain Paul Hebert from the Wicked Pisser. Fact is, I wouldn't go fishing with any other sunglasses than Maui Jim. When I wear them, the ocean's true colors come shining through with more contrast and clarity. When it's time to harpoon a big bluefin, I see that fish clearly at that critical time. Maui Jim, seeing is believing. Take it from us on the Wicked Pisser. Try a pair at your local tackle shops or check out MauiJim.com.
Captains Mark Gillette and Chris Switzer want you to know now is the time to book your trips and charters aboard the Eclipse and Commander, both now operating out of Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay. The Commander is a legendary 65-foot boat with top-of-the-line comfort and superior customer service, the finest fish handling and quality food, the same great service that has made the Eclipse one of the top boats in the Seaforth Sport Fishing fleet. Their slogan, "Compromise Elsewhere," says it all. The Eclipse is the widest sport fisher in her class, offering plenty of room at the rail. Chris and Mark have developed these two boats to set the standard in quality and style for your offshore trip from 1 to 3 days. Charters and open party trips are available now aboard the Commander, and a limited number of charters are available aboard the Eclipse. To secure your spot, call Eclipse Commander Sport Fishing at 619-995-6880 or book online at eclipsesportfishing.com or commandersportfishing.com.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course, I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, boat California, save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. All right, the winner of the hand-picked assortment of Rapala and Williamson lures is going to Brian in Lake Forest. Brian, congratulations. You are going to be so stoked with all that new gear.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This new Rapala and Williamson gear that Brad brought along here, give us an example of some of the stuff that we recapped. Recap today about some of the key stuff that our anglers should look for in the tackle store.
Well, that new size of that popper from Williamson, that 160, and it's a 2.4 ounce, and it fits right in between the 130 and 180, and it's a great bait. And I think
Popper Pro 160.
Popper Pro 160.
Okay.
The Rapala X Husky Magnum, which in a 15 and 25 foot depth. So that 25, I think, is going to be real popular. It fits right in between the 20 and 30.
Yeah.
And in the great variety of colors that we already make. And then some of the new colors in the 15s, 20s, and 30s in our X-Rap Magnums, and that's the Wahoo and the Sailfish. They're UV coated, but Rick can attest
Yeah,
there
which one did you grab out of the stack?
First one I stole was the new Wahoo.
The Wahoo.
It looks so good.
Yeah, and they're great colors. I mean,
they're
absolutely
really nice
great.
colors.
And
how do they do that?
I don't know. I just buy them. That's all I care.
Just buy 'em.
So,
yeah. All right.
Then we have some long cast stuff too.
Yeah.
So we've got some surface baits and some subsurface baits called long cast. So they're weighted so you can cast them.
All right. And where do you buy Rapala and Williamson lures?
Well, Turner's carries them there, and also the Longfin's great, and the variety of other dealers. Dana Landing will have them. East County Bait and Tackle. So your favorite tackles up.
Now we should also mention Flambeau, which you represent too.
Flambeau as well
makes the best tackle boxes and the best rod tubes. Period.
Right. When we have our ultimate tough tainers and that, so they're waterproof. They also have Z-Rust, which is exclusive to us. Keeps that corrosion down. Salt water's a little hard on some of your equipment and your hooks and that. So, but that Z-Rust takes care of it.
They work.
Takes care of it.
Yeah, they work. All right. How do we find all this?
You can go on Rapala's website, rapala.com, and you can see all the variety of baits and all the other lines that we carry.
Very good. All right. Thanks, Brad Stieler, for coming in today, and thank you for listening today. We will be back tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. The guys from Inland Boat Center will be in the studio talking Arima, talking Defiance, and if there was ever a time that people want to buy a boat, this is it. And these guys will tell you how to do it and what they offer down at the San Diego Boat Show and at their amazing location there in Paris. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you tomorrow morning right back here on the Mighty 1090.